All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. The honest apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. I just saw a few minutes of this video, and a brother had titled it from the what channel is this again? Slakia. Shout out to this brother, Arrows of Indignation, 144. It says, if true, why ICE agents do not deport Afghanistan, Iraqi, Somalians from Babylon? Right. So I'm gonna let it play. It's kind of vexing. So I'm gonna add to it. You know, make this like a commentary. All right, let's go. As always, we do for educational purpose. Not making no money off of this.
There are 42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps. 42% of Somali immigrants. 34% of every immigrant from Iraq.
All right, let's stop right there. So, Afghanistan, America conquered. They fled. So America got issues with Afghanistan. Somalia, they're constantly attacking Somalia, the Horn of Africa. There's always a conflict there. Iraq, well, they own Iraq pretty much. And remember 9/11, after 9/11, being a Muslim was considered to be a terrorist. But Americans, well, the Democrats had given these other nations, and there's probably more, food stamps. Now they said the Haitians are Israelites. However, I go after the Haitians. ICE doesn't go after these other nations. This is very ironic indeed. All right, let me play.
23% of Haitians, 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps.
So if that's the case, now remember, what's his guy? Trump had Elon Musk do the Doge and clean up to clean up the government and the misuse and spending, which they haven't done at all. Why? Because they haven't arrested anybody, and the money that they were supposed to go to the people are no longer go to the people. So, what was the investigation? Now, if that's the case, you did a thorough research and all this other stuff. What did you be able to go into that system and figure out who was getting it? Well, the average American that are getting stamps, especially if you're newly getting it, you got to go through hoops, and you got a time limit, and you basically not even getting enough money to get by, especially if you're working. See, these devils, man.
Meaning that most of the people getting food stamps from the U.S. government and the U.S. taxpayer are not even Americans. Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started, but thanks to Democrats, we can confirm tonight that millions of Joe Biden illegal aliens, people who crossed the border when Joe was president, are now collecting food stamps from a program funded by hardworking American taxpayers.
First, let me say that I recognize that most of the people on food stamps are American citizens. With that being said, this is a problem because we cannot continue to import people into our country that we have to pay for. And look, I recognize that this group of people represents a small percentage of the people who are actually on food stamps. But when 45% of a group is on food stamps, maybe they don't belong here, right? Because Afghani immigrants, 45% of them are on food stamps. Somali, 42%. Iraqi, 34%. Caribbean, Native Americans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Black, Arab, Cambodian, Haitian. Like, we can keep going through this whole list, but this is not a viable long-term solution. We can't say.
And you notice in the middle of that was the Israelites. So you can clearly see the agenda, but like the brother put in, why ICE is not going after these other nations. Okay? Why are they not going after these other nations? You don't hear even the Chinese. They said that the majority of the people that was coming in to America via the border was Chinese military age. Why do you have to go after them? Because they playing these people as fools. You Americans are being played. Okay, they'll tell you we're gonna get everybody that's not belong here, but they're only going after a certain group, and that certain group so happens to be Israelites. Haiti pose no threat to America. The majority of the Caribbeans, people from the Caribbean islands, pose no physical threat at all. The Dominican Republic, no physical threat at all. But everybody else have their own nation, got missiles, and just because you got vested interest into that land, they pose a threat. So the hypocrisy runs deep.
Hey, come to America and we'll pay for you. You can't survive as a nation doing that. And like I said, I'm not going to get drawn into some stupid fucking argument about, oh my God, it's mostly white people on food stamps. Yeah, well, our country is 60% white. So if it wasn't mostly white people on food stamps, that would blow my fucking mind. But we just have to be honest. We have.
And what he just said, and that's another factual statement. Most of them are on food stamps, and he knows that. He said, "Well, if it wasn't true, then that won't be right." But then you point your finger at a particular other group of people that's what, according to them, 13%, 13, 14% of your population, and saying, oh, you guys are this and that. But the majority of you are the ones that's benefiting from this thing. So let's use our common sense here. All right. Is there a lot of quote unquote black people on food stamps? Yeah. It's there. It's there to aid. Now, if you have people that have been in food stamps for fucking decades, yeah, that's the problem. But if you got people that just got it or working and they got to get it because the money ain't right, that's why this whole entire system is going to collapse. No matter how we slice it, this is the collapse of America. And in the guise of not giving a damn about the poor. That's what it boils down to.
To stop letting people come into this country who just want us to pay for them. This has to be fixed.
Well, now that SNAP and EBT ran out, this one's going to blow your mind because migrants in New York City were getting more food money per day than actual American citizens. And yeah, that was actually a thing. The average American on SNAP and EBT gets about $7.59 per person per day to buy food. But the city of New York was handing out prepaid food debit cards to recently arrived migrants, many of whom were here without legal status, worth about $12.52 per person per day. That means migrants in New York City shelters were receiving 65% more in daily food benefits than American families, trying to get by in the exact same city. And here's the part nobody talks about. That $12.52 isn't even a federal program. It's not SNAP. It's not EBT. It's paid for by the New York City taxpayers. The city doesn't even give an extra food card for struggling citizens, to seniors on fixed incomes, to homeless veterans sleeping on the same streets, but show up yesterday without documentation and you're prioritized. This isn't about compassion. It's about political choices. And those choices are telling you exactly where American citizens land on the priority list, which is dead last. Do you think this is a right move by New York City to give more money to illegal aliens than it is to actual Americans?
And then the hypocrisy that goes on with these people. Y'all don't give a damn about these people. all these people that's coming here, it's not because um, they really wanted to come over here. It's because the nation that they come from, which is being occupied by the U.S. government, or somehow, some way, U.S. government has destroyed that place. So the narrative has been pushed highly. ICE is not going after a particular other groups, but they're going after other groups. It says, Habakkuk 2, and I'll start at 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and shall and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. And once again, what does spoil mean? Spoil means to take. All right, you took from many nations. You went to Afghanistan after a war that the Afghanistan people had nothing to do with it. Why? You went there for poppy. Poppy became heroin. And all this fentanyl, all this madness that you hear, you're the ones, the US government is responsible for that because they brought the heroin over here. All right. Then what was the other? Somalia. I don't even know what Somalia has. I think it's just because of the Horn of Africa. Right. The US can now, if they could control the Horn of Africa, they could control those that comes in. But they're always having problems with that area because they're met by resistance. And what was the other one? Said it was Afghanistan, Somalian, and something else. Iraq, which come on, they Iraq was a functional city before the U.S. bombed them. Remember what was the story for that one? The story for that one was they have weapons of mass destruction. To this day, they can't tell you what weapons of mass destruction that Iraq had. So you went out there and robbed and spoiled, and the Native Americans. You took the land. This land is not yours. All right, this land is not yours. You stole this land from the Native Americans, so you owe them. I said the Haitians. You robbed Haiti to this day. Soon the Jamaicans. There's a lot of things that you have done to other people that is long overdue. What's going to happen to these people over here? This people, this place. All right. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. So what you're doing is the least you can do. But it doesn't go by that. Oh, the taxpayers, this and that. Well, if that's the case, then why is the U.S. military? Well, here let's go into it. The U.S. give Israel billions of dollars every year. The U.S. gave Ukraine billions of dollars, but their citizens over here, that war that they pretty much had Zelensky start. All right, put their people in A, B, and B. Oh, who funded these migrants to come? Who told the migrants to come? You had a political group in America, all right, and the whole thing was funded by George Soros. To what? To flood America. So don't come crying about, oh, this person's not here legally, this, that, to the third. Y'all not even here legally. Y'all not here illegally. You're illegals into a land that's not yours. All right. The hypocrisy of Esau is real. It's beyond. They have no accountability of anything. The cause and effect. War starts. It springs out in the other countries. The people that is not warriors have to migrate. That's why a lot of them went to Europe, and all that was plotted out by what? George Soros, the international bankers, this whole conglomerate of the Illuminati. They want to break down every nation's border except for their welfare state. It says, because of man's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein. So because of these things, this is why it's happening. But you talk ill about the poor of any nation. If you sit there and tell everybody, "Oh, we're the greatest country in the world," and people come and they want to take some now, as far as the finances that was going, it's not just New York. It's all when the Democrats allowed these people to came in, they gave them mad money. They did, everything was done purposely. So what? To piss off the people. It says Psalms 12:5, for the oppression of the poor, for the sign of the needy. Now will I arise, saith the Lord, and I will set him in safety from him that puff at him. Oh, this is perfect. Who's puffing at who? Because once again, ICE is not going for these heathen nations. They're going after Israel, all right, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And amongst the Negro tribes, the West Indians and the Haitians, all right, and then what you call African Americans. In the Northern Kingdom, you have the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, they mentioned, right? Venezuelans, you got the Mexicans, Ecuadorians, the Native Americans, the Cubans, the list goes on. These are the biblical Israelites. So you oppressing the Lord's people, and the Lord's about to protect his people. We could clearly see that obviously the time of nourishment is over. They no longer want to nourish the people. But because of that, the Lord's people, the righteous is going to lean towards the Lord, but the Lord's still going to hear his people for their cries. And I love bringing this out. Sirach 4, and you know what? I saw that one. My son, defraud not the poor of his living. Make not the needy eyes to want to wait long. And what I was thinking about it too, he mentioned the vets, right? Here it is, you still have veterans treated like shit. And they still gotta go through hoops just to get a meal. These are your war heroes. This is how you treat your people. Period. So no matter what Esau, no matter how many statistics you try to bring out, no matter how many points you try to, you still look bad. And everybody said, why is there 400? I mean, yeah, why is there 42 million people in food and SNAP benefits anyway? Why are everybody's complaining about the cost of living? Where the money? Why did Donald Trump, send $40 billion to Argentina? Why would he do something like that? Why are they making a big deal just to pay people's food benefits? Why people that has a regular 9 to 5 not getting paid enough that have to get assistance? These are the questions that you should be asking. It says, "Make not a hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress." Hey, and this is what you're known for. This country, this city, all right, is known for oppressing the people dearly, especially those who don't have a voice. Why? Because they don't have much. But you present yourself like as you care for the poor. But look how everybody's crying about the poor even getting some food. And then they do the comparison with what about the poor Americans? Then you have to really answer your question: why is everybody put in that position from the very get go? They're about to take everybody. There's about to be a bail in. First time ever hearing that. The bailout was the U.S. government aiding the banks from bankruptcy. Now the bail in is whatever you have in your account, the bank is going to take it, and you're not going to get that money back. So why is the average citizen, the law-abiding citizens, is being punished for the U.S. government's faults? That's the main question. Why is the U.S. government doing these things to us? Not why are you giving this to these people or that people. You're being distracted. And what you're being distracted of is from what's really going on. PSYOP after PSYOP after PSYOP, distraction after distraction after distraction. When I wanted answers about the Epstein thing, and he was finally was going to bring it out, what ended up happening? One of your heroes, Captain Kirk, got sent to the Enterprise. That was one distraction. Then a whole bunch of the shootings and so forth. So nobody's even thinking about that. Now the main concern, what people are going to do when they can't pay. It says, reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him no occasion to curse thee. And it was ironically funny, going back to the whole premise of the show. You're targeting a group of people. You're not targeting these other groups of people. And you're targeting the right one. Because these people, when they cry to the Lord, like we done in the past, guess what happened? Empires toppled. So once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Scripture says if the nation of Israel prayed to the east, the Most High would tear down whoever's oppressing them, roughly paraphrasing. And this place is long overdue to be torn apart. It says, for if he cursed thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer should be heard of him that made him. So the bitterness of a man's soul, if the right personnel curse you, you're done. All right, because why? The Lord hears the cries of the hopeless, the poor of this world. Sirach 35:16. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor. His prayer shall reach unto the clouds. All right, the prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds until it come nigh. He will not be comforted, and he will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. For the Lord will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient towards them, till he have smitten in asunder the loins of the unmerciful, and repay vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud and broken the scepter of the unrighteous. So the Lord's ultimate job is to wipe this place out. Unbeknownst to the majority of his people, 2/3 of them, they also participants of the downfall of this kingdom, because the Lord is about to have them crying. So, yes, the number one thing, the Lord's going to avenge America, the blood of the saints, which it says here. Let me get that real quick. I haven't read this in a while. Revelation 18 and 20. It said, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. So the ones that the Lord is really listening to is the elect of his people, the apostles, all right, which means sent away, and the prophets. So those that's doing this work, the Lord has their ear. See, the Lord's going to punish his people, 2/3 of them, all right, because they are part of the system. But yet, this is how, listen, I didn't make up the rules. I'm just going by how the scripture says. But yet, let me back up what I'm about to say. Second Ezra. So yes, the sole purpose of America being destroyed is because of the elect. But, however, Second Ezra 15, I believe it's 5. Yes, sir. It says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For their wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. This is the Lord. He's not going to hold back. All right. Which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which that they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Scripture says, was it Revelation 6 about 9, that those that died in Yahweh Shai is complaining to the Lord. So Lord hearing the praise of the humble of his people is piercing him. All right. And it says, and therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. So overall, who's the Lord's people? All of Israel. All of Israel. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, because the majority of the Lord's people are far gone. His concern is for the elect, but he's still going to avenge his people. That's what makes it so like, wow. Like, you talk about a people that's stuck in a quagmire that is Esau. The Lord allowed you to harm his people. Overall, all of us. He's allowing you to destroy 2/3 of his people. Yet, amongst his people, the elect's blood is most precious. And the Lord's going to avenge that. But yet, he's still not going to forget the rest of the other people. So, he got you. You checkmated. He says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretch out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy all the land thereof. And it say lands, it say land. All of America is destined to be destroyed. America is going to be the biggest desert on the planet Earth. This unrighteous, this campaign to make Jake look bad, all right? This campaign to make Jake look like they're the worst things possible. The scripture says that the accuser of our brethren, all right? All that propaganda, oh, it's coming back to you. And then some. You're going to pay. You Edomites are going to pay. So with that being said, something real quick to the spirit. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.